Sister Rita followed orders. By shifting her weight to her shins, she was able to kneel during the divine office and throughout the day. Regardless of the physical cost, she was determined to claim her spot in the community. The strategy worked. In October 1945, more than three-fourths of the solemnly professed nuns voted for Sister Rita to take the veil and enter the novitiate. I think in my heart, Mother Agnes did it because she had a lot of faith and love for Mrs. Wise, Angelica speculated later. She had heard about the more insults, the more stars, and I think that was the only reason the chapter voted for me to get the habit. The wedding commenced on November 8, 1945. May Frances arrived early, carrying a cake and flowers. Her sister-in-law, Rose, had fashioned a handmade wedding dress for the occasion. As a special tribute, Mother Agnes forfeited her right to select Rita's religious name, allowing May that honor. May chose the name Angelica because Rita had been, in her words, an angelic and obedient daughter. Bishop Joseph Schrems presided over the vesting ceremony, lending it the appropriate grandeur. At the penultimate moment, the abbess rose, scissors in hand, to snip Rita's last connection to the world. Her curly brown locks fell to the chapel floor. The nuns peeled away Rita's wedding dress and replaced it with a brown tunic, a scapular, and a white veil. The holy habit enveloped every part of Rita Rizzo, as did the love she felt for her spouse. For Rita, this was no mere intellectual union, but the beginning of a lifelong bond, an intimate personal experience of communion with Jesus Christ. Her mother, uncles, and friends sat on the public side of the chapel, sobbing in approval. As she stood behind the grill, she looked like the rest of them, save for the glow of fulfillment on her face. Rita Rizzo was no more. Sister Mary Angelica of the Annunciation stood in her place. To commemorate the occasion, Sister Angelica spent the afternoon in the parlor with her mother. The meeting inspired a letter written that night. To the mother-in-law of Jesus and my own sweet mother, today the greatest possible honor has been bestowed upon you and I. To have me marry an earthly king would be an honor, but to be espoused to the King of Kings is an honor that even the angels cannot understand. We shall have to wait until the day eternity dawns for both of us to realize what it means. So many souls in the world much better than I am he might have chosen, but his eyes rested on you and me. It is as if he were walking through a field of beautiful flowers, looking, passing many beautiful ones by, and then suddenly he stops and picks a small flower, weak and hardly able to hold up its little head, and he walks away having made his choice. It must be because there's no one on earth that needs him more than we do, needs him every moment of the day. Let us then spend the rest of our lives in thanking, praising, and loving him. Shall any sacrifice be too hard for us, whom he ever holds in his arms? Shall we not be filled with spiritual joy, knowing the loving eyes of God rest upon us? May my sweet spouse keep you very close to his sacred heart. There is no loneliness for one who realized his sweet presence and the presence of your angel. I want to thank you once more for bringing me into the world, for taking such good care of me, for your many sacrifices, for all your love and devotion. Thanks for everything. May I become worthy of such a mother. I ask for your blessing on this, our day of days, that I may become what Jesus wants me to be. Your loving child and spouse of Christ, Sister Mary Angelica. The confined life of the cloister brought to the surface the failings of those locked within its walls. Temperament, family background, education, and talent were so diverse from sister to sister that disagreements invariably arose. Feelings were wounded and grudges nursed. In this microcosm of life, the nuns strove to conquer their personal imperfections for the good of the community. Sister Angelica was no exception. To control her anger and quick tongue, penitential practices were undertaken, but stricter discipline was needed to shake off her impatience, especially when encountering certain sisters. One time, I said to the Lord, "Today, come hell or high water, I'm not going to be impatient," Angelica recalled, and by 9 came hell and high water. I blew it. In the fall of 1945, when plans were underway to establish a monastery in New Orleans, Bishop James McFadden of the Youngstown Diocese called Mother Agnes with an alternative proposition. John O'Dea, the retired owner of Eller Manufacturing, a steel plant in Canton, wanted to donate his home and estate to a contemplative order. John and Ida O'Dea's only stipulation was that perpetual adoration of the Blessed Sacrament be maintained in the home. After due consideration, Mother Agnes accepted the O'Dea offer, abandoned the New Orleans plan, and set about picking 6 nuns to establish the new foundation in Canton. Mother Mary Clare, the vicar in Cleveland, would be abbess of the Canton Monastery. Mother Luca would become her vicar. The abbess called Sister Angelica of the Swollen Knees to her office. Mother Agnes addressed the nuns sternly. "Mother Clare and I have made a decision," she said. Sister Angelica imagined all the horrible things to follow. "You must return home. You have no vocation. Physical health is a consideration." "Mother Clare feels the 5 stories of steps here are causing your knee problems. So we have decided to send you to the new foundation in Canton." Under normal circumstances, only professed nuns were eligible for membership in a new foundation, and transferring a sister to her hometown was verboten. But this was no ordinary circumstance. Either Angelica's condition would improve, or she would be evicted from religious life. Canton was to be a last chance, the arena where her vocation would be tried, and a final judgment rendered. With apprehensive obedience, Sister Angelica accepted the transfer.